Today we mark 55 years since the Stonewall Uprising.
In the early hours of June 28, 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn, a bar for the LGBTQI+ community in New York City.
It wasn't the first time a gay bar was targeted by police, and it wasn't the first time queer patrons fought back. But something was different at Stonewall.
Enough was finally enough, and they rose up. And over the next 5 days, the queer community in New York rallied in protest of the brutal treatment of Stonewall's patrons and against the discrimination the community faced.
As the crowd's size grew, so did their determination.
It became known as the Stonewall Uprising and helped change the path of the fight for equality forever.
Just 1 year later, queer communities in cities across the country came together to commemorate the uprising in what would become the first Pride parades.
We've come so far since that fateful night. Today, it's almost hard to imagine what life was like for our community back then.
The bravery of the patrons at Stonewall has inspired our community for decades, leading to widespread changes in the public's hearts and incredible changes in law that protect everyone's rights.
Today, every American has the right to marry who they love.
We've won protections from employment discrimination at the Supreme Court.
And we've passed hate crime legislation to address violence against our community.
As openly LGBTQI+ members of Congress, we are proud to help lead the Congressional Equality Caucus and carry on the fight for equality.
While we're remembering Stonewall today and the change that came from it, we also have to remember the work still ahead.
Attacks by anti-equality politicians are still all too common, especially against our transgender and our non-binary siblings.
Last year, Republicans in Congress introduced more than 55 bills that attacked our community's rights.
It held more than 50 anti-equality votes on the House floor. These attacks have continued this year, including this month, Pride Month.
In the face of these brazen attacks on equality, the 196 members of the Equality Caucus remain united in upholding the spirit of Stonewall and fighting back to defend freedom.
Today, we celebrate how far we've come since Stonewall.
And we also honor the lesson of Stonewall by continuing to fight for full equality for our community.
Happy Pride!